On today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a driving tour through a brand new gated community coming to Prosper, Texas called Parkplace. This neighborhood is still in the early stages, but I'll be sharing what builders are coming in, the lot sizes, and some of the amenities planned for the community. I'll also talk about the future growth of the area, price points you can expect, the pros and cons of living here, and which lots I think are worth taking a closer look at if you're thinking about buying. So stick around and see if Parkplace could be the right fit for you and your family.
So that makes sense.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. Today, you join me over here in Prosper, Texas. We are going to be taking a look at the new community Parkplace over here on the west side of Prosper, Texas. This is going to be a brand new community with Shattuck Homes, Partners in Building, Bob Custom Homes, who I'm not really familiar with, and maybe some other custom builders that haven't really started marketing in this neighborhood. Really, the two main builders that are marketing right now in here is Shattuck Homes and Partners in Building. I'll get into the price points, what I like and don't like about the neighborhood. We'll drive around, we'll check out this one today. Right now, there are no homes built. Okay, so this is a fresh new neighborhood. It is going to be gated. Right now, they've got the gates open, so you can actually drive around and kind of check out the area. I assume that once more houses get built in here, it's gonna be a little bit harder to come check out this neighborhood. But for right now, it seems like they're keeping these gates open. So if you wanna come by and look at the area, it is right off of Prosper Trail and Legacy Drive. So it is in a really good location. I think Partners in Building, their model home, just started breaking ground right now. So on there, you'll see that it's kind of graded. I believe they're about to start putting in the plumbing or the foundation. So probably over the next 6 months, you'll start seeing that model home start popping up and maybe some other lots popping up as well in this neighborhood, because Shattuck Homes has already started selling in here as well. On their plat map, they were actually showing some homes or some lots actually sold already in here. So there's some builders that are releasing, and then I just haven't found some of the other custom builders on the 85-foot lots that are coming in here, but it should be soon, I would expect. Within this neighborhood, it is going to be zoned for Denton County. That is going to be a tax rate of 1.98%. You're going to be zoned for the town of Prosper, Denton County, and Prosper ISD. Now, for the HOA in here, I would assume that's going to be somewhere around $1,600 to $2,000 annually. Could be a little bit more, but I would expect it to be in that range, especially because this neighborhood is gated, large custom homes, and also has an amenity center with it. Usually I don't see that with a neighborhood that is gated. So this is kind of the one-off where most of the gated neighborhoods, new construction that I've been going through, like Harper Estates, I would say Arbor Hills over in McKinney, but Arbor Hills has a lot smaller lots and they're not really custom homes in there. So this is like one of the first neighborhoods I feel like I've come across where it's in like a really good location, zoned for Prosper ISD, new construction, gated, custom homes with amenities in it, all that kind of stuff. Now, price points, yes, going to be pretty expensive in this neighborhood. We'll get into those details here in a little bit, but I like the size lots in here. You're going to have 80-foot lots for Shattuck Homes over on the west side of the neighborhood, and then you're going to have 85-foot lots for the curb appeal over more on the east side of the neighborhood where it kind of borders up along the new phase of Star Trail. For the custom home builders in here, like I was mentioning earlier, right now I've just seen marketing like Bob Custom Homes and Partners in Building. The only reason I'm saying Bob is because when I was driving around, I actually just saw an actual sign in front of a lot that said Bob, and then there was a couple other lots that just had addresses and lot numbers, but there was in a phone number, but there was no other like name or marketing with it. So I can tell you with 100% guarantee right now that Partners in Building and Shattuck Homes are bringing those things, but Shattuck Homes is going to limit you a lot more. Now it's going to be cheaper to go with the Shattuck Homes, but if you're wanting to do more with your floor plan and really get it customized, Partners in Building is going to be the way to go within here, or maybe some of the other custom options. I'm just not familiar with those other builders. And right now on the Partners in Building website, they have their prices starting at $1.5 million. And I would expect you to spend another $200,000 to $300,000 on top of that. I've worked with Partners in Building before, and you can easily have a house starting at 1.4, 1.5 and end up being around the 1.8, 1.9 after your lot premium, design center, structure upgrades. And the structure upgrades is usually going to cost a little bit more because they're going to give you a ton of floor plans to look at. Elevation wise, they might limit you to some certain things on how the house can look and what colors you can do and what type of stone or brick patterns or things like that. But for the most part, on the inside of the home, you're really going to be able to customize a lot more things rather than what Shattuck Homes is going to give you. Shattuck Homes might limit you to be able to do some things. Not saying they won't let you add on a bedroom, but it just might be limited for what you can do with that builder compared to Partners in Building. Because Partners in Building is like they're still kind of a production builder, but I would say they float more towards the custom side of things. If you really want to go full custom, J. Anthony is usually where I start sending some of my buyers to with that builder. But if you're still trying to stay within a budget that's relatively cheaper than some of the other custom home builder options, Partners in Building is going to be a pretty good option in my opinion. Now on their website, they do have a plat map of this east side of the neighborhood where they're building right now. There's nothing on there that shows what's sold, what's not sold, but they are starting to release lots in here. So if you are interested, send me a text or go check out their website to get more information. Now for Shattuck comes in here on their 80-foot lots, you can build from a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,672 square feet starting at $839,000 or up to a 4-bed, 4.5-bath, 4,412 square feet priced at $1,069,000. Now you can spend another $100K on top of these numbers here. So I would say like minimum, like the cheapest you're probably going to be able to get into a home in here is at 2,700 square feet, and you're probably going to be around the $1 million mark. Even if that home is starting at $839,000, after your lot premium, after your upgrades, all that kind of stuff, I would budget another $100K on top of that. And maybe you get put at $1 million, and maybe the design center incentives put you down at like 975, right? They might be offering some type of incentives right now to get into this new phase of the development or this new community. That's usually what builders do. So just know you're gonna need a budget of like $1 million and up. I would say more like 1.1 to 1.2 for those Shattuck homes. And then for the Partners in Building, I would say you probably need to be around a $1.7, $1.8 million mark. I'm not saying you can't get in, maybe around 1.6, but if they're already saying prices are starting at 1.5, you're probably gonna be closer to $2 million rather than 1.5. For Shattuck homes, their plat map, beige is going to be the available lots, red is going to be sold, gray is going to be the inventory coming soon. So you can see on there, they've got some stuff coming soon, and they've also started selling some lots in here. So they are actively moving on some things right now. Lot size is going to be around 10,000 square feet. Now you're going to get a little bit of a bigger lot size with those custom homes on 85-foot lots, but I would say anything probably over like 13,000 or 14,000 square feet on your lot size is probably going to be more of an oversized lot, but I would say roughly around the average is going to be 10,000. You might have some that are like 9,000, but an 80-foot lot with 100-foot, 120, 130-foot depth, it's going to put you around 10,000 square feet on that lot size. Amenities in here, you're going to have a pickleball court, playground, sidewalks, green belts to walk along, and then the school zoning in here is going to be zoned for Bryant Elementary, Rushing Middle School, and Richland High School. So it is going to be zoned for that new high school opening up here in Prosper, Texas. Commute times out of this neighborhood down to Dallas, 50 minutes. Frisco is 15 minutes away. DFW Airport is 40 minutes away. Fort Worth is an hour away. The nearest grocery store is 13 minutes away, and the nearest hospital is 12 minutes away. Breaking down the pros and cons with this neighborhood, what I like, what I don't like. So for the pros in here, neighborhood's in a prime location. Being off Legacy Drive, you hop on that. You don't even have to get onto the tollway to be able to go down to Legacy West and that area down there in Plano, or if you work along the headquarters, there's a lot of jobs over in that area. You won't actually have to take the tollway down now. You might want to because it's going to be a little bit quicker, but if you do want to save on tolls, well, then you can take Legacy Drive all the way down. You're going to be right off that road. So really easy commute to get down into Plano or maybe other parts of Frisco as well, like Fields of Frisco. It's going to be located less than 10 minutes away, Firefly Park, and all that's going to be right off Legacy Drive to where you just hit a couple lights, go over 380, and then boom, you're into like kind of the area that people want to hang around when it comes to like the Frisco area. And you're also going to be zoned for the new Richland High School, like I was saying. So that's a positive as well. I think that's going to be the new hot school coming into Prosper. Everyone's going to be wanting to go into that. But also, there's more schools getting built along here. So maybe we throw this into a pro, maybe we throw this into a con. I just kind of throw it into a con because sometimes families are a little bit nervous about moving into an area because they know things are developing out, but they want to go to this high school, but then another high school will be built or a middle school will be built, and it might zone them to another thing. Well, usually schools will kind of, let's say, grandfather your kid in as long as they're maybe in sophomore year or junior year if another high school does open up. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a con. It's just kind of one of those things where you just don't know how the school zoning is going to play out and you might not be happy with it. And I think more people care about that with elementary schools. I see more families and parents up in arms about the rezoning of elementary schools rather than the rezoning of high schools or middle schools. I think the parents with the younger kids care a little bit more where they're being zoned to. At least that's what I've seen from like Facebook groups. Now, word on the street too is that there's going to be a Montessori preschool around this area on Legacy. I've heard that from some of my clients I've worked with over in this neighborhood. That might be coming to the area, so that's a positive there. You're also 10 minutes away from PGA, Fields Frisco, so that's awesome as well. And then these lot sizes, I think 85 foot, that's gonna be great. The backyards on them, you are gonna be able to fit a pool. I don't think you're gonna be able to fit any more kind of amenities on there, but at least the neighborhood itself is gonna come with like a pickleball court and some other little things, and the walking trails looked fairly nice in here. You got a nice little pond when you drive into the neighborhood. I wish there was a little bit more water features in here. There's only one nice pond at the front entrance, which kind of gives a good aesthetic to the neighborhood, but then you get a little bit further into the neighborhood and it's just a bunch of lots. Now, around the neighborhood, well, I say around the neighborhood, but more on the south side of the neighborhood and more on the specifically southwest side of the neighborhood, those lots over there are gonna have great privacy. There's actually a dense tree line on that backside, so there will be privacy for those lots. Some of the other neighborhoods in here, going into the cons, you're gonna be backed up to your neighbor. They're gonna be able to see into your backyard from the second story, so you're not gonna have privacy on some of these interior lots. But for the exterior lots, they are gonna come with privacy. But if you pick lots that are more on the east side and west side along the perimeter, they are gonna have wrought iron fencing, which will limit your privacy. You'll just probably have to put in some trees or something like that on the backside to add some privacy to it. You're gonna be further away from the Gates of Prosper, retail shopping, but once it comes in, the Prosper Arts District is gonna be kind of closer to you, and that's gonna be like the new hangout spot, I believe, for Prosper, Texas. Now, this is gonna be a long time coming, so the con there is that you're just gonna have to wait for more things to come into this area. It is being nice off 380 because you're not right off 380, but you're pretty close. You're only a couple lights away. Where you hop onto that, you go right, there's a Home Depot, there's restaurants, there's all that kind of stuff. Going out of the neighborhood, if you go left, you then run into the Gates of Prosper, Firefly Park, Dallas North Tollway, all that kind of stuff's over there. You're just a little bit further from the current retail shopping that people go to. That's over at the Gates of Prosper. And even though this neighborhood is gated, there's not an actual security guard at this gate, so I don't know how well the security is gonna be actually going in and out of this neighborhood. I would expect that it's gonna be kind of 50-50, that sometimes during the day, the gates are gonna be open or it's gonna be a little bit easier to get in. So it's not like heavy security within this neighborhood, which is what I wish I saw. And then last con on here, at this price point, it's probably gonna put some buyers out of it and out of budget. But if you are in the million, I would not even million, I would say like conservatively, if your budget is 1.2 to $2 million, I think this is a better neighborhood option than Star Trail. Depending at what you're looking at Star Trail, because some of those houses over there are gonna be floating around the same price tag as this one, and you are gonna get better amenities within Star Trail. But then again, if I have an 85-foot lot and I'm putting a pool on the backside and I can build a custom home and it's at $1.8 million, where there's already houses selling at $1.8 million over in Star Trail, but I'd rather be in a gated neighborhood rather than not. But you will get a little bit more amenities in that neighborhood though. But this neighborhood isn't that big, so it's gonna be a little bit more of a tight-knit community. It's probably gonna be around like 200, 300 homes in here is what I would expect. And that's gonna do it for this neighborhood tour. So if you guys have any other questions about Parkplace or any of the other new construction coming to the area in Prosper, Texas, I am a licensed agent, would love to work with you and your family on your home search. Other than that, peace out y'all, and take it easy as always. Thanks for checking out my channel and watching that video. I got more videos floating around here. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate in the DFW area, contact me. I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Besides that,